I'm Sarah Hart from Sarah Hart Driving School at Drive Hart. So today I'm going to give you the briefing that I would give to my pupils on emerging from a side road to emerge left and right onto the main road. The first thing you might want to discuss with them is the difference between emerging and turning, and clearly that is that at the end of the road you need to give way to traffic on the main road. I'll also be discussing the different types of lines you might get at the end of the road. So if you get a broken line, that means give way. If you get a stop line with the hexagonal red stop sign, it means you have to stop by law. Let's look at one that we've got give way lines at the end. We're going to start our process, MSPSL, about 8 to 10 car lengths from the end of the road. We may well have an inverted triangular give way sign that's alerting us to the fact that we are coming to the end of the road. So we're going to be turning left at the end initially. So we're going to be checking our centre and left door mirrors and putting on a left signal. As we're coming down to the end of the road, we want to think about our position. We want to keep it at the moment relatively central, but have a look, get your pupils to have a look ahead to see where the curb starts to move away from them. If it's a sweeping curb, as this one is on the board here, then when they come down towards the end, they're going to start steering around with that curb. But of course, if it's a straight curb, right angle curb at the end, they want to keep straight. So we've practiced our mirrors and our signal, our position. Now our speed, we're going to reduce our speed right down, and about a bus length from the end of the road, for the purpose of today's lesson, we're going to put the clutch down. So about a bus length from the end of the road, the clutch goes down, and now we're going to use our brake, keeping the speed really, really slow, perhaps like a tortoise. And as you come down to the end of the road, we're going to be steering to the left. Now, when they get a bit more experience, they're going to be able to slide it into first gear while they're doing this very slow roll down to the end of the road. And that's what we refer to as rolling first. The first couple of goes, though, it's quite difficult for them to get that. So it's important they get the clutch down, not too far back, because obviously that would be coasting. So about a bus length, clutch goes down, slow, slow, slow to the end of the road, with a bit of left steer depending on the curb, and gently brake to stop at the end of the road. Now, it's hard for a learner to suss out where the nose of the car is in relation to the lines, but when they're sitting in their driver's seat, they will see the lines at the end of the road just appear under their door mirrors. That will pretty much, unless you've got an elongated bonnet of some sort, that will pretty much put the nose of the car at the end of the road. So now where to look? We need to look at least twice each way, left, right and left to right, to make sure it's safe. If it is safe to emerge, we're going to check our left door mirror. We're going to come round out of the side road, and we're going to straighten up, and as always, rear and right mirrors before taking the pace up on the main road if it's safe. It's very important to get them to understand that they must look left. A lot of people will say, oh, we only have to look to the right if we're turning left for cars that are coming along the main road. But it's worth mentioning to them that they have to look to the left, because if this car is parked and this car is coming round him and they're only looking to the right and emerging, there's the head-on collision and it's your fault. So no matter what happens, and a little thing that I use with my pupils is that if you're on the side road, you do not have any bearing or influence on anything on the main road. So I use it as a sports term, which is that if you're on the side road, it's like you're on the subs bench of the team. Once you're on the main road, once you're on the pitch, then you have an influence. But until it's safe for you to emerge from that side road, you've got to stay in there, waiting till it's clear both ways before you emerge. Similar to turning right at the end of the road, mirrors and signal for right. Position, same as when we're turning. We're going to butt up to those centre lines if the road is wide enough to allow that. Coming to a halt at the end if it's not safe. Waiting for a safe gap. And then we take a sweeping emerge out of that side road, having checked our right door mirror for bob. We don't need to go across and do the right angle steer that we do when we're turning in. So again, making sure it's clear both ways. Checking for bob. Round you come, final mirrors, right, centre and right mirrors to finish. So that's my briefing on emerging left and right. Clearly, if there's hazards, they've got to go more slowly. They might come to a junction that's closed, which means that when they come to the end of the road, they can't see anything. It might be a parked car, a building, a hedge. It might just be somebody standing on the pavement. But this would mean that they'd have to peep and creep. And that's a little bit more advanced, so you'd move on to that in subsequent lessons. So that's the end of the briefing, and yet again we have our student revision pack for emerging left and right, and as you know we want to send that over to the pupil after the lesson by email, and inside that is the normal challenge for the supervising drivers to give them a question and answer session, quiz them on their knowledge, and perhaps take a little road trip out with the supervising driver to see how to negotiate emerging, turning left and right. That's the end.